So this tote bag and cooler right here are made of paper. Now, paper products have been around for a really long time, but the cool thing about this paper is made from recycled wood fibers. And on top of that, it is washable, very durable type paper. Now, as a personal effort to highlight more green and environmental friendly products on my channel, I wanted to talk about these two guys right here because I have been using them for close to 2 months and I've got some thoughts about it. So let's get into it. How's it going, friends? I'm John and this is Unpack'd. On this channel, we like to talk about different backpacks, slings, everyday carry items, and other travel related gear. So today I have something a little bit different for you guys, a tote bag and a cooler from a company called Out of the Woods. Out of the Woods is a company that builds different tote bags, lunch bags, coolers, backpacks, a lot of different products on their website. A lot of the stuff is available on Amazon as well. But the cool thing about the company is what's happening behind the scenes. Their efforts to use nothing but recycled materials, recycled water. They use ethical manufacturing. Like, there's a lot going on. I'm gonna put a link to their story as well as the products, but I'm gonna link their story to their company so you can take a read for yourself. I think it's really important to understand that the products you purchase, about where they come from and what they're made of. And I think this company's doing it right. So let's start with one of their best-selling products is this iconic shopper tote. Now it's available in two different colors, Sahara, which is like a sand color, and Ebony, which I have for you right here. Again, it is constructed of a renewable washable paper. It's very, very burly. It doesn't feel like a paper bag, like you're gonna be able to tear it. It's super sturdy. But one of the unique things about this paper as well is its look. It looks like a fine aged leather, almost like a well patinaed wax canvas on top of that. And to add a little splash into the look, you have these white cotton handles here with that black paper inlay as well to give it a little bit of splash of different color there at the top. I think it's a really good looking tote bag. So as my buddy Kevin from Pack and Roam would say, the #1 rule is to always look cool. So if you're at the farmer's market, you're coming back from the grocery store, what is cooler than this nice leather aged look of a tote bag to carry your groceries? Now there's nothing else to this tote. It's just a simple bucket tote, but you can tell from this paper that it is well structured and well constructed. Now you do have some faux leather on the front, a little bit of branding there, and tan says Out of the Woods, but other than that there is nothing else going on with this tote. Now I've used these bags for road trips. I've taken them, we had some local festivities, I take them to parade, put chips, bread, all the stuff we need, snacks, and it's held up pretty well. Now normally when I review a product and I unbox it, I take a few minutes to really go over the product and I take some notes down to kind of comment on the quality. Now when I unbox this iconic tote, everything is well constructed and well put together. I did have a quality concern in the handles. Now in the handles, you have straight stitching down on the handles. So typically on soft goods like backpacks and slings and other items like that, anywhere on the handle where it attaches to the bag itself, you normally see like a bar tack stitching or a box stitching to reinforce the handle to make sure it's not going to separate from the bag. I didn't see that there, so it was a little bit of concern that these straps wouldn't hold, but I'm happy to report that I've had no malfunctions, no failures in the straps, despite it being single stitching. You do have double stitching on the seams of the bag to keep the bag from separating, so I do like that. I'm glad you have that double stitching everywhere the bag is seamed together. And because of the durability and the roughness of this paper, it stands really well on its own. This bag is completely empty and it holds its structure extremely well. So whether you're loading stuff in or out of the bag, it stays open very well so you're not having to fight the bag to get your stuff in and out. Currently at the time of filming, this tote retails for $26. But if you go onto the Out of Woods website, they're always running promotions, they're always running sales. I think you can get like 15% off just for signing up for their newsletter. So definitely check out for sales because you more than likely will get a better price than $26. I know it's a simple tote bag, but what better way to step up your grocery game than with this cool look of the bag, but also knowing that it's made of tons of recycled products and ethical manufacturing. So this is the Dolphin Square Cooler. I think they have a bigger version called the Walrus and a smaller version just called the Dolphin. Anyway, just like the tote bag, super structured, and it holds its shape very well. So when you're loading or unloading anything out of this cooler, it maintains its shape extremely well. It's also using the renewable washable paper, and I think this is the only colorway for the Dolphin cooler. From an aesthetic standpoint, it resembles a typical lunchbox or cooler. Nothing really to write home about. It's just a big square to house your drinks, goods, snacks, whatever you want to pack in there. You could also use this as a grocery bag as well to put in your perishables to keep them cool for the ride home. But I used it in a 17-hour car trip. I took it to the parade. We've taken it a lot of places, and I've put this thing to some pretty good abuse. So again, when I unboxed it and I did my initial quality inspection, I did see that box stitching on the handle here that was missing on the iconic shopper. But I guess because the tote bag is meant to carry less of a load, they didn't do the box stitching, but I was happy to see the reinforced box stitching on the handles of this cooler because it will carry a lot of weight. You do have one zippered opening to get into the cooler. The zipper I found was a little stiff. Now I don't know what brand of zippers they're using, but this bag only retails for $40. Like I mentioned, Out of the Woods is always having sales, so you're more than likely gonna get this for a lot less than $40. So I don't know the name of the hardware being used here, but I did find that it had a lot of resistance compared to some of your more well-known zippers like your YKK. Not super hard where you can't get the bag open, but it definitely has a noticeable amount of resistance. You have some nylon handle straps with more of that washable paper accents there to give it a splash of color to match the tag on the front, and they're using the same paper on the zipper pulls. Once you get into the inside of the cooler, you'll see that insulated lining. So it's just foam lined insulation. So I packed this with ice, sandwiches, sodas, snacks, water, all kinds of things for a 17-hour car trip. And I'm happy to report that it actually insulated pretty well for just being a simple foam cooler. Now, the company does recommend that you use ice packs. I didn't. I loaded the hell out of this thing and I packed it with ice. And after 17 hours, I'm happy to report I had nothing leaking through. I did have about 80% melt. I did have some floating ice cubes, but the water stayed cooled and all my items stayed cool. So for being a simple cooler, you know, it's not double wall insulated like your Yeti or Arctic. I think it did pretty well. Yes, it was riding in the backseat of an air conditioned car, but again, for some simple foam insulation, 17 hours, 20% ice left, I felt was pretty good. Now, I really put this bag through its paces. I probably abused it a lot more than what's meant for a $40 cooler. Besides the 17-hour car trip, I packed this thing full of beer and ice for a multi-day music festival as well. Somewhere in that music festival, I suffered a catastrophic failure. The lid separated from the stitching. The stitching didn't come undone. The lid just separated there. So I did suffer that. So with that being said, I think that this cooler is best used for medium to light use. So if you're bringing back your perishables from the grocery store, you want to take a simple picnic, use ice packs, and keep the load moderately light. To be fair to the product, I packed this with about 18 beers and over the brim, and I fought the zipper to close this thing up. So I really abused this thing, and as a result, I suffered this tear in the lid. So the capacity of this cooler is listed as 24 cans, but that's assuming you pack nothing but cans to the top. I would say closer to 15 cans with ice. But again, the company does recommend you use ice packs. I recommend that as well, as ice will add a lot of weight, especially with that water. You risk the potential of a leak through because it's not advertised as leak proof. But like I mentioned, 17 hours in the car and it did not leak. But overall, I was pretty happy with this bag's performance. So both of these products are FSC certified. From my understanding of FSC, it's a third party that tracks where all the materials are coming from, how they're recycled, all the way through manufacturing. So it's quite a lengthy process, it seems like, to get that certification. But again, the company is dedicated to renewable, sustainable sources, ethical manufacturing, and they also donate 1% of their profits to other green initiatives. But definitely check out their store. In addition to washable paper, they're using recycled plastics, recycled water. I mean, just a lot of things that go into these bags. So some final thoughts on the iconic shopper and the square Dolphin cooler from Out of the Woods. I think both of these bags are great, but they're best suited for medium to light case uses. So your farmer market trips, your smaller grocery runs, I think are going to be great for the iconic shopper trip to the mall. I wouldn't really load it up with a ton of canned goods. Again, for that single stitching, I still have a concern of the the straps here separating, but I haven't had any failures on this. Same thing with the cooler. It's just a simple foam insulated cooler, so in light to medium use cases, if you're packing a picnic and stuff like that, don't be like me and stuff it to the brim with ice and beer and expect it to hold up as well as you would see from a Yeti or an Arctic type, really double wall insulated kind of bag. So if you're looking for some simple bags, a lunch bag, a cooler, a tote, definitely check out Out of the Woods and check out their line of products. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think about these super cool bags from Out of the Woods and all their green initiatives that they're putting into these bags? What do you think about the fine aged leather look of this washable paper? Do you have any quality concerns about this paper? I can tell you, it's not something you're going to be able to rip with your bare hands. It's pretty durable, and I love that it stands up on its own. So let me know down in the comments if you have any more questions about the Dolphin Square cooler or the iconic shopper tote. I'm happy to answer your questions. I respond to every single comment. So if you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for sticking around, but I cannot wait to see you on my next